Shalom. Shalom, everyone. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. My name is Yeshua, and I'm coming back with another video. Before I start, I just want to apologize about the camera and my editing and everything. This is really my first time doing this. I'm not really the type of person that knows how to teach, but I want to help people. You know, that's my goal. If I could just reach out to one soul, that would mean a lot to me. I want to talk, if you haven't checked my last video, why I left Christianity, I left because of two reasons. Matthew 5:17 and 18. I have not come to abolish the law of the prophets. Don't think I come to do that. I came to fulfill, which means he fulfilled the gaps within the law, higher the standards, which means the laws are not done away with. We must still keep the Sabbath, the feast days, keep kosher, clean foods, and keep in the Torah. The Torah is not done away with. So if you're a Christian, just understand Yeshua always told us to go back to the Torah. You need to understand that. And where did Sunday worship come from? It came from Constantine the Great. So make sure you do your research on that. He changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. That's why you have Christians going to church on Sundays, because of Constantine the Great. Okay, today I want to talk about Matthew 23:2. This is my favorite verse. Like I said, if you're a Christian, please go to this verse and understand what this verse is saying. Okay, I'm going to read it right now. Matthew 23:2. The scribes and the Pharisees have seated themselves in the chair of Moses. Therefore, all that they tell you, do and observe, but do not do according to their deeds, for they say things and do not do them. Now, it doesn't say much about this commentary here in this Bible, but I found a commentary on heartlight.org. I'll put the link down in the description if you want to check it out. This is the key thought. I thought this commentary was gold. I think every Christian should understand this. Yeshua is saying we have to listen to the Pharisees and scribes, for they the ones who sat in the seat of Moses. When leaders do what God has gifted them to do, and when they teach the truth, we should obey it. Yeshua demanded that we respect those in place of authority. Yeshua also demanded that his disciples, that is us, obey God's truth. The truth is not dependent upon a worthy lifestyle and the person proclaiming it. So if a person of authority teaches truth, which is Torah, we are to do it. Just because that person is a hypocrite does not give us the option of ignoring God's truth, which is Torah. These two principles are key to putting Yeshua's scathing words that follow in their proper place. After his opening words here, Yeshua is not talking to us about our responsibilities to our leaders in matters in Matthew 23. Instead, Yeshua is addressing the leaders and telling them what their responsibility is and pronouncing judgment on them for being hypocrites. We are not to follow their example, but we are to practice the truth they speak. Again, we must listen to the rabbis. The Pharisees and scribes are the ones who sat in the seat of Moses. So you must obey and do everything that they tell you. So why Christians are listening to a pastor when they don't keep the commands? Why they are listening to a church leader who does not know the Hebrew scriptures of the Torah? Yeshua said we must listen to the rabbis. We must listen to the rabbis. Yeshua said, if you believe Moses, you believe me. He said that in John 5:46, because he's teaching Torah. And a lot of Christians don't understand that. So where do I find what he said in the Torah? Deuteronomy 17. Deuteronomy 17, verse 10. And Moshe is talking to the leaders, and he's talking to the peoples. And he said right here, you should do according to the word that they would tell you from that place that Hashem would choose. And you should be careful to do according to everything that they would teach you, according to the teaching that they would teach you, and according to the judgment that they would say to you, should you do. You should not deviate from the word, and they would tell you right or left. And the man who would act with willfulness, not listening to the Kohen who stands there to serve Hashem your God, or to judge that man, shall die. and you should destroy the evil from among Israel. The entire nation should listen in fear, and they should not act willfully anymore. So if you go against the rabbis and their teaching, that's death. If you don't want to take upon yourself God's commands and his truth, that's death. Now, a lot of Christians might say, I have Jesus, I have Jesus. Jesus is not going to help you. He's trying to tell you, this is what you need to do. You need the rabbis. You need the sages. You need them because they are God's chosen people. They are the ones who have the authority and the power. We need to understand that. And trust me, I come from a Christian church in the hood. Not a lot of people don't want to understand this at all. Go to anybody, any Christian, and tell them this verse, Matthew 23:2, and tell them what does this mean to them, and they won't tell you. They just won't tell you. You have all these Christian channels on YouTube who do not talk about this verse, because this verse clearly says, Yeshua says, you have to listen to the rabbis. You have to listen to the Pharisees and scribes, for they're the ones who sat in the seat of Moses. Not one channel will talk about that because they think Jesus done away with the law. This is why a lot of Christians are going to have to give an account. So in conclusion, I just want to say that I want to build up from what Yeshua says that matches the Torah. Once I make that foundation, I'm going to make other videos on how you can start keeping the commandments. How can you start keeping the Sabbath? What other commands that's applicable today that we could keep? Because we're supposed to be keeping commandments every day. And there are commandments that you can do on a day-to-day basis. And I'm going to go through that in future videos. But right now, I'm just trying to build the foundation so you can understand that everything Yeshua is saying is straight from the Torah. We need to understand that. That is very, very important. Ecclesiastes 12:13. Fear God, keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Let that sink in. Okay, so my name is Yeshua. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want, you can subscribe. If not, I understand. I'll catch you on the next video. Shalom.